Okay, if you would, we're going to have the flag salute, and if you would remain standing after the pledge for a moment of silence for the soul of Ascari Moore, the boy from Lincoln School who was tragically killed in an automobile accident. And now we would like to have, to say the flag salute, the Kelly Osmond, the Teacher of the Year from John Adams Middle School.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Dr. Heelan?
Here.
Mrs. Maroney?
Here.
Mrs. Ains?
Here.
Mrs. Ward?
Here.
Mrs. Iyer?
Yes.
Mr. Shee?
Here.
Mrs. Madiker?
Here.
Mr. Errico?
Here.
All present, Mrs. Bondarowitz.
Opening statement. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies in which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provision of this act, the Edison Board of Education has caused notice of the meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted in the Board of Education administrative offices. Copies of these notices were sent to the Home News Tribune, the Star Ledger on January 7, 2016 and March 1, 2016. The public may participate at regular meetings in accordance with the bylaws and the applicable state regulations. Now, I'd like to introduce Tara Beams. Tara Beams, the Assistant Superintendent for Elementary Education.
Thank you, Dr. Heelan. Members of the Board of Education, Dr. O'Malley, Mr. Michaud, fellow administrators, staff, students, family, friends, community members, and most importantly, our distinguished honorees. It is always special when we get together to honor our district representatives for Teacher of the Year. Not only do they represent all of the outstanding educators that are the heart and soul of the Edison Public School District, but most importantly, each one of them represents the thousands and thousands of students that we have the privilege to develop and watch grow each and every day. If you don't believe how important the role of the teacher is in the lives of children, let's take a look and hear just how special you are and how much your influence means to our students.
I remember that day, quietly shuffling into your room, nervous, scared, and alone. I reached back, hoping to find my mother's hand, wanting to run, wanting to hide, needing someone to tell me it's gonna be okay. Someone did. That someone was you. You were my teacher. You were my teacher.
I remember that day. I failed. I couldn't do it. I was stupid and I was wrong.
It didn't make sense. I quit.
I quit.
I quit.
You saw me. You came to me. You showed me I could. You believed in me. You were my teacher. You were my teacher.
You were my teacher.
I remember that day. I won.
I did it.
It clicked. I've never been so happy.
I've never been so proud.
I struggled, but someone kept pushing me.
I questioned and someone gave me answers. I stumbled, but someone wouldn't let me fall. I tripped, but someone caught me.
That someone was you.
You were my teacher.
I remember that day we made music together.
I remember that day we created art. I remember that day I expressed myself.
I found myself. I trusted myself.
I told the world, look out.
Look out!
Look out! Here I come!
I turned and saw you, smiling, clapping, cheering.
Cheering for me.
Cheering for me.
That was you.
You were my teacher.
You were my teacher. You were my teacher.
You were my coach. You were my mentor.
My conscience, my cheerleader,
my foundation. You were my friend.
You were my friend.
You were my friend. You were my teacher.
You celebrated when I was right and corrected me when I wasn't.
You didn't judge. You didn't mock.
You were patient. You were kind.
You were always there when I needed you. You were my teacher.
You were my teacher.
You were my teacher.
I remember that day when I graduated.
I finished a chapter and opened another.
You gave me everything you had.
You gave me the tools. You showed me the way.
You were my teacher.
You were my teacher. I remember that day I said thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for being there.
Thank you for believing.
Thank you for being my teacher.
Before we begin honoring our Teachers of the Year, I just want to give a big thank you to Mr. Brandon Ulig, who created that video, but also the poem, or the words that the students spoke in the beginning. He wrote that poem for the students. And also I wanted to extend a very, very huge thank you to Mr. Mark Connolly, who is the choir instructor at Herbert Hoover Middle School. He wrote the music that we heard in the second half of that video, and it was actually performed by the Herbert Hoover Middle School Select Choir. So I want to give a big thank you to both of those individuals for helping with this. So now I'll begin to call up our honorees for this evening, and I'm going to be reading a little bit of a speech that was written by the building administrators about their honoree, and you certainly, through their words, can see why we are so honored to have them as our Teacher of the Year. So we'll start with Lincoln Elementary School and Miss Kathy Korchik and her building principal, Mr. Timothy Hart. Positive, enthusiastic, caring, dedicated, lifelong learner. These are the words that were used consistently to describe Kathy Korchik in the letters nominating her for Teacher of the Year for Lincoln School. Ms. Korchik has been working at Lincoln School for almost 16 years, mostly as a second grade teacher, and she recently changed grade levels to work in third grade. For many, this would become an unshakable conundrum, but as one colleague described, Kathy's attitude was that this was an opportunity to grow and learn from challenges and new experiences. That type of growth mindset is contagious. She is an experienced teacher who shares effective instructional strategies with her colleagues. She creates a community of learners, whereas one colleague states, "You can feel the love she has for her students as soon as you walk in her classroom." Another writes of her dedication to Lincoln students, saying, "She is in charge of our Rainbows Club, thinking nothing of all the time spent to make it a success." Ms. Korchik works to bring this optimism and positivity to all she encounters. As one colleague stated, Ms. Korchik is an inspiring teacher to her students, her colleagues, and to the Edison community. Congratulations. Now from Washington Elementary School, Ms. Kate Goldberg, accompanied by her building administrator, Ms. Sandra Schlatter. Ms. Kate Goldberg brings the Spanish language and culture to life in the classrooms and hallways of Washington School. Her genuine passion for teaching our students to love language learning is evident in her daily interactions. Whether in the classroom or hallway, Ms. Goldberg's infectious smile and positive attitude cannot be missed. She engages students in meaningful communicative activities, helps enrich their understanding of different cultures, and makes the acquisition of a new language entertaining. This was evident just last week when a student came up to Ms. Goldberg after a lesson, thanked her, and said, "I didn't know learning could be so much fun." Washington School is honored to have Ms. Goldberg as a leader for our students. Congratulations. Now from James Madison Intermediate School, Mr. Kenneth Molnar and his administrator, Mrs. Kathleen Miller. Kenneth Molnar, James Madison Intermediate School's Teacher of the Year, is an exceptional teacher who goes above and beyond for the students at JMI. In addition to teaching physical education grades 3 through 5 at JMI, Mr. Molnar also teaches several classes at James Madison Primary and the FDR School. He differentiates his instruction to meet the physical, instructional, and social needs of all the students he teaches. He has a calm but firm demeanor. Mr. Molnar can be seen in the multipurpose room shooting hoops with students on his own time, to holding the pre-K students' hands at FDR while they learn how to play hopscotch. Mr. Molnar attends many after-school and night events at which the students surround him and want to talk to him for hours. He is involved in running the after-school sports club for 4th and 5th graders. And this year, Mr. Molnar also facilitated the Jump Rope for Heart to raise funds for the American Heart Association. The students he teaches love seeing him and look forward to going to physical education every day. Mr. Molnar is an outstanding teacher, and we are truly fortunate to have him at James Madison Intermediate School. Now from Benjamin Franklin Elementary School, Mrs. Susan Nuzzo and her administrator, Mr. Stephen Preville. Mrs. Nuzzo encourages success and growth in all aspects of her students' education, academically, socially, and emotionally. Mrs. Nuzzo's classroom is truly an environment that encourages a strong sense of community. She begins each lesson with a meeting where she values the contributions of each student. Whether in the classroom or in her inspired art club, her lessons take students on an exciting journey as she integrates music, art, literature, culture, and citizenship daily, and truly embraces transdisciplinary learning and the connections between content areas. Students are encouraged to develop self-confidence while exploring their own strengths and accomplishments. Mrs. Nuzzo takes every opportunity to show how proud she is of her students and displays their work throughout the school community. As an educator, a parent, and a graduate of Benjamin Franklin Elementary School, Mrs. Nuzzo is a fantastic advocate and role model. Her students are incredibly fortunate to have her as their teacher and describe her as kind, helpful, funny, and simply the best. So it is no wonder to anyone who knows Mrs. Nuzzo as to why she has been selected to be the Benjamin Franklin School Teacher of the Year.
Thank you so much.
Now at John Marshall Elementary School, Mrs. Maria Dubois and her principal, Mrs. Amy Hoffman. It is with great pride that John Marshall School has chosen Mrs. Dubois as the recipient of the 2015-2016 Teacher of the Year. Mrs. Dubois is a problem solver, an innovator, and a dynamic member of our 5th grade team. She is a true professional whose passion for teaching has never wavered. Mrs. Dubois takes great pride in ensuring that all of her students are ready and able to go to the middle school. She constantly reviews data to see where she needs to improve her teaching practice to support the learners in her classroom. While remaining current with the latest instructional strategies and technologies, she can reach a troubled or struggling student and can also accelerate and challenge her brightest of students. In addition, Ms. Dubois teaches her students to strive for excellence, to show respect to one another, and to push themselves to reach their individual potential. She has mastered the elusive art of being firm but fair and always maintains positive relationships and open lines of communication with parents. Ms. Dubois is very active on school committees, organizing Camp Bernie for the 5th grade, the PTO, and the ETPTAC. This is why John Marshall School has selected Maria Dubois as their 2015-2016 Teacher of the Year. Now from Menlo Park Elementary School, Mrs. Jennifer Oshinsky and Mr. Michael Duggan, the principal. Mrs. Jennifer Oshinsky is kind, smart, encouraging, funny, and innovative with her students. Students love being in her class, and her positive energy is contagious. Her lessons are thoughtful, and she challenges her students to think more deeply and critically each and every day. She has forged excellent relationships with her colleagues and brings a sense of positivity to the entire school climate. At home, she is the busy mom of 5-year-old twins, yet she still provides consistent high-level instruction to her students and actively participates in school events. Just this year, she participated in Camp Bernie, our Barnes & Noble night, and played on Menlo's volleyball team for the annual district ETEA fundraiser, often with her children in tow. We are extremely fortunate to have her as part of the Menlo Park School instructional team, and she is most deserving of this honor. Congratulations, Mrs. Oshinsky, and thank you for all you do. From James Monroe Elementary School, Miss Kristen Brands and her principal, Mrs. Linda Zapatisny. Mrs. Brands encompasses all of the qualities that you expect to find in an educator, but especially one who teaches kindergarten. She is kind, patient, a caregiver, nurturer, facilitator, and leader, among other things, and most importantly, she never loses her sense of humor. Through the years, these qualities have extended themselves not only to the children in her care, but to their parents as well as her colleagues. As part of one of the few ICR satellite classrooms in the district, Mrs. Brands has initiated an instructional program that meets the needs of all learners in her care, from teaching them how to zip their jackets to emerging as readers, while always instilling the James Monroe philosophy of treating others the way we want to be treated. In the last several years, she coordinated parent workshops to help convey a shared vision of high expectations for all learners between home and school. This year, Mrs. Brands was instrumental in reaching out to our brand new self-contained autistic program teachers as colleagues and facilitated the successful integration of many students from that program into part of the ICR Kindergarten Day. In everything that she does, Mrs. Brand's passion for teaching, and especially the well-being of children, is evident. She was this year's unanimous choice for Teacher of the Year by the Building Committee based on her innate sense of bringing best practices to the table for the truly diverse learners in her classroom. Congratulations. From Lindenau Elementary School, Miss Ginger Sanchez and her building principal, Mrs. Sarah Bright. Ms. Sanchez has had a variety of roles at Lindenau School over the years. She has worked as the Spanish teacher, a second grade teacher, and now as a kindergarten teacher. As a result, Ms. Sanchez has deep roots in the community, having worked with families in different capacities. She works to keep herself in the forefront of education. She often writes curriculum for the district, including the most recent science curriculum. She has piloted the use of iPads in kindergarten, as well as the Tools of the Mind curriculum. Ms. Sanchez serves as a member of Lindenau School's Teacher Advisory Panel, as well as the district's iPad Committee, where she can share ideas about improving student learning. But most importantly, Ms. Sanchez welcomes her students into her classroom each day with open arms and a clean slate, ready to take on each sniffle or skinned knee and ensure that each student has a wonderful kindergarten experience where they grow socially, emotionally, and academically. Thank you to Ms. Sanchez for all of your hard work and dedication to Lindenau School, and congratulations on being named Lindenau School's Teacher of the Year. From Martin Luther King Elementary School, Mr. Richard Angulo and his building principal, Mrs. Diane Wilton. It is an honor and privilege to have Mr. Richard Angulo, special education teacher, represent Martin Luther King Elementary School as this year's Teacher of the Year. When you meet Mr. Angulo, you will instantly recognize that he is not only a gentleman, but truly a gentleman, caring deeply about his students and their learning. Not only is he passionate about teaching and learning, but his compassion for his students are insurmountable. Having an instinctive insight into what our most at-risk students need in overall development, he constantly researches methods that support autistic learners, especially in the realm of technology, to enable even our nonverbal students to communicate their insights and knowledge to the world. An example of this is one day when MLK's annual Dragon Dance through our hallways had concluded, Mr. Angulo had informed his students that the Dragon Parade had finished and they had to return to their classroom. One student instantly picked up his iPad and responded, "No, the Dragon Parade was finished." His patience, slight chuckle, and praise ensured his student that he was correct, and Mr. Angulo was thrilled that his student was able to respond with such accuracy. It's successes like these that make Mr. Angulo flourish as a teacher, that make his students flourish in their learning and have garnered him the respect and admiration from his colleagues. Thus, we congratulate Mr. Angulo on this well-deserved recognition and thank him for the positive impact he continues to bring to everyone at Martin Luther King Elementary School. Thank you and congratulations. Now from James Madison Primary School, Miss Nicole Sampson and her building administrator, Mr. Michael Seiler. She has a big fan club. There are those that are fortunate enough to have certain natural abilities. When it comes to teaching, Miss Sampson has the natural ability to lead her students. Her classroom is consistently filled with excitement that keeps you engaged and eager to find out what is coming next. You feel like you are a part of a community in which everybody is welcomed and accepted, regardless of their abilities or background. In addition, she continually provides this same atmosphere and support during EIS, in which she supports various learners throughout JMP. Ms. Sampson truly deserves this award, and Mr. Seiler has expressed how honored he is to have her as a member of the JMP family. Congratulations on this very well-deserved honor. And now from John Adams Middle School, Miss Kelly Osmond and her principal, Mrs. Joan Valentine. Kind, compassionate, creative, funny, and full of spunk are words to describe Mrs. Kelly Osmond, the 2015-2016 Teacher of the Year at John Adams Middle School. She teaches students math, but her capacity for teaching and learning extends far beyond just the content area. Mrs. Osmond is fully immersed within our school community and is willing to go above and beyond to help students and staff alike. Quality and engaging instruction radiates from her classroom each and every day. She exudes positive energy and is creative in planning dynamic lessons that encourage students to take risks and soar to new heights. Mrs. Osmond is selfless and puts the needs of others before her own. The Jams family is proud to have Mrs. Osmond as our Teacher of the Year, and we are forever grateful for all that she does. She is truly jamazing. Congratulations. Now from Thomas Jefferson Middle School, Miss Lisa Delisantro and her building principal, Mrs. Antoinette Emden. What makes a passionate educator? A passionate educator takes the time to know each student and builds into the curriculum individual and informal conversations. A passionate educator displays a deep commitment for student learning and growth. A passionate educator develops lessons that are reflective of the learner's interests and learning styles. Students are challenged to think and give their best effort. Every day, Mrs. Delisantro demonstrates to her students and colleagues what it means to be a passionate educator. In 5 short years, Mrs. Delisantro has proven herself to be a dynamic teacher. As a special education teacher, she understands the importance of delivering lessons that provide students the opportunity to share their understanding, assume a leadership role, and build their self-confidence. Daily, students participate in learning that is engaging, rigorous, and fun. An example of this is when she delivered a lesson called Gone Fishing. Using a large piece of blue construction paper and a fishing pole made with a ruler, string, paperclip, and magnet, students went fishing to demonstrate their understanding of comparing and ordering decimals. Ms. Delisantro is also an active member of the school community. As a member of the Chromebook leadership team, she modeled lessons demonstrating the effective use of technology to improve student learning. She is a member of Jaguar Book Club and an advisor for Student Council. Each year, she works with administration to create and deliver parent workshops that assist parents with helping their child make a successful transition to the middle school. Ms. Delisantro presented at Engage Edison 2016 and attends PDIs to support her own professional growth. Just this year, she also completed her master's degree at Seton Hall in Educational Leadership, Management, and Policy. Ms. Delisantro is a superstar at Thomas Jefferson Middle School, and we are honored to congratulate her as our Teacher of the Year. From Woodrow Wilson Middle School, Mrs. Lisa Catalanello and her administrator, Miss Patty Couture. Oh. Okay. Okay. Since Mrs. Catalanello's arrival at Woodrow Wilson, the library has been transformed into a true media center. Student-centered, Mrs. Catalanello treats children as if they were her own. She validates their opinions, gives them leadership roles, helps them give live book talks, or with a digital platform, provides public speaking lessons, promotes creative problem solving during makerspace time, facilitates book swaps, and uses live streaming to communicate with students at other schools, and even with an author. Her impact is felt beyond the media center as teachers seek her expertise when planning technology-based lessons, and she is always willing and able to help staff acquire better skills by sharing resources, co-planning and co-teaching lessons to enhance the academic experience for all learners. Mrs. Catalanello's reach extends into the community as well. This year, she was instrumental in bringing the Go IT program to our students. She partnered with Tata Consultancy Services volunteers to learn app coding and the creative design process so that she could co-mentor 30 of our students during the program. She has also partnered with Edison High's STEM Academy students and teachers for high school students to visit and mentor our children as they work together on STEM challenges in Makerspace. Mrs. Catalanello is a lifelong learner who regularly seeks new information, attends workshops, and turnkeys learning to others. She continues to operate on the cutting edge and brings new innovations such as Challenger Channel to the school. This year, she became the 7th person in the state to become certified as a common sense media educator. Finally, Mrs. Catalanello is pleasant, polite, and professional in all interactions. This disposition makes students and staff members eager to collaborate with her. Mrs. Catalanello is a highly regarded member of the Woodrow Wilson community, and it is easy to see why she was selected as our Teacher of the Year. And now from Woodbrook Elementary School, Miss Lana Nunez, and her administrator tonight, Mrs. Mary Mavrodas. And she hasn't had the baby yet. Mrs. Nunez has developed her craft through study and careful implementation of best practices and collaboration. Her classroom has been used as a lab site for peers wishing to watch differentiation and active learning in an authentic setting. Her resume boasts a variety of workshops and independent learning which help Mrs. Nunez to create the rigorous active classrooms where her students enjoy. Mrs. Nunez's class is bright and positive, and children are happy to share events and ideas with her because of the level of trust she has built with her students. During any visit to her classroom, visitors will notice students encouraging one another to ask and answer more challenging questions, and students working on interdisciplinary units which expose them to the global community. Her peers see her as a mentor, and she is uniquely able to fill that role and still see herself as needing to grow as a teacher. Mrs. Nunez's work ethic is tireless, and she is persistent in her ability to look for the best idea or activity for her students. We are proud to call Mrs. Nunez Woodbrook's Teacher of the Year. Now from Edison High School, Mrs. Amanda Gonzi and her building principal, Mr. Charlie Ross. Mrs. Amanda Gonzi bleeds not only red, but gold. And Mr. Ross wanted me to tell everybody those are the school colors. An Eagle alum, there is not a single person who loves Edison High School as much as she. As a math teacher, avid teacher, and general student council advisor, time after time, she exceeds the expectations of everybody around her, putting on successful events such as Mr. Edison High School, pep rallies, FTK dance marathon, homecoming, senior citizens prom, avid barbecue, and the list goes on and on. Nothing matters more to her than her students. They are in great hands as soon as they enter her classroom. She radiates enthusiasm, makes learning fun, and constantly pushes her students to do better and to be better, showing her concern for not only their grades, but their future too. No matter how much work she does or how many hours she puts into her job, she is continually self-effacing, being more proud of the students who helped than herself. You can always depend on her to deliver and to do it with a smile. She is the essence of a dedicated educator, the essence of a positive role model, and the essence of what's great about Edison High. Mr. Ross and staff could not be prouder than to name Mrs. Amanda Gonsi as the 2016 Teacher of the Year for Edison High School. And from J.P. Stevens High School, Miss Rose Pittenger with her building principal, Miss Gail Palakowski. Rose Pittenger is a distinguished educator. She comes to work very early each morning and brings the best she has to offer every day. She has taught all levels of students and meets the needs of every individual. She believes that every student has the ability to be successful at something, and she guides them, and when necessary, pushes them and pulls them so that they experience success. Ms. Pittenger doesn't allow students to accept mediocrity, and she will work with them until material is understood and assignments are complete. Many students credit her with helping them get through high school. Ms. Pittenger is a good person and believes in the goodness of others. She cares for her students with no judgment, and the students feel cared for and appreciated, and love and respect her in return. She also enjoys working with students after school and serves as the advisor for the chemistry club and the ski and snowboarding club. Ms. Pittenger has a growth mindset and models it for her students. She improves her craft and in turn the school community by attending workshops, serving on committees, collaborating with colleagues, writing and applying for grants, and by listening to and observing her students. She is intelligent, creative, tech-savvy, fun, and kind. She challenges students and staff members to be the best version of themselves and is there to support them every step of the way. It is with great pleasure and gratitude that the J.P. Stevens community honors Ms. Rose Pittenger as the Teacher of the Year. And from the Edison Preschool Program, EELC FDR, Miss Maureen McCullen and Miss Eve Kingsbury. When nominating Maureen McCullen as Teacher of the Year, her colleagues describe her as dedicated, nurturing, and that she exhibits passion and overwhelming dedication to her students, enriching their lives by creating positive experiences that follow her students throughout their lifespan. And she plays a mean guitar. Ms. McMullen has been a teacher at the Edison Early Learning Center since it opened 5 years ago. She brings her passion for music and movement to all the learning experiences in her class, infusing her lessons with these two expressive modalities. She takes a leadership role in many aspects and shows her caring and understanding, not only for her students, but also for their parents, as shown by developing and leading a parent university, kindergarten readiness. As one of her colleagues states, in sum, Mrs. McMullen is an awesome teacher who makes a positive impact on the lives of the youngsters she kindly teaches, not only through the curriculum, but also by example. Congratulations. And now I would like to call up our District Teacher of the Year, Mrs. Christina Hughes, and her administrator, Mr. Brian McBrath.
Thank you, Mrs. Beams. It is with good reason that Mrs. Christina Hughes has been selected as the 2016 Edison Township Public Schools District Teacher of the Year. For the last decade, Mrs. Hughes has served the students of Edison Township Public Schools as a language arts teacher at Hoover. I could spend hours sharing with this audience how Mrs. Hughes incorporates technology, designs and delivers effective and engaging lessons, or how she uses every available resource to provide her students with lessons that are both engaging and exciting. I could go on about how she serves as an avid advisor and how her contributions have ensured that her students are not only determined, but prepared to begin and finish college. I could bring to this podium a parade of teachers who would be happy to extol how Mrs. Hughes has helped them to evolve to be innovative and effective in their practice. I could hand this microphone to her husband, who would tell you how she spends countless hours preparing lessons and grading papers while taking care of their 2 small children, one of whom is only 14 days old. Lastly, I could share with you how Mrs. Hughes is somehow able to manage all of this while also pursuing her PhD from Rutgers University. In lieu of expanding on the aforementioned, I would prefer to share with this audience the words used by Christina's students when asked why they believe Mrs. Hughes deserves to be the Edison Township Public Schools Teacher of the Year. Directly from her students, Mrs. Hughes is an amazing teacher. She cares more about me than any teacher I've ever had. Mrs. Hughes worries about all of us like she's our mother, but she makes us work like she's our boss. Mrs. Hughes is a loving and caring teacher. She makes us believe we can be successful even when we don't think we can. Mrs. Hughes teaches us about reading, writing, comprehension, and compassion. Mrs. Hughes always inspires me. Mrs. Hughes never fails to meet any of our needs, and because she makes learning fun, I always look forward to her class. In closing, I believe this final quote truly reveals why Mrs. Hughes deserves to be the Edison Township Public Schools District Teacher of the Year. Mrs. Hughes always challenges me, always cares about me, and if I fail or if I succeed, her classroom always feels like home. And now I'd like to introduce Mrs. Hughes to say a few words.
What an amazing honor it is to be named the District Teacher of the Year for Edison Township. Thank you to the Board of Education and the Selection Committee for this tremendous honor. First and foremost, I need to thank my family, without whom none of this would be possible. Although we don't share the same careers, thank you for spending countless hours after family dinners discussing ideas, debating education policy, or simply providing guidance. These conversations, like all of our conversations, have provided me with opportunities to see things from a different perspective and have kept me grounded. I truly appreciate you all. Thank you to my administration, who've been so supportive of me and whatever my latest endeavor. I know each of your doors is always open for conversations about best practices, current research, or even just life. It's so nice having supervisors who truly understand my passion for teaching and trust me and the decisions I make every day for my students. Because of our relationship, I have been allowed and encouraged to grow as a teacher for my students and a leader in the field. Thank you to my colleagues at Herbert Hoover, not only for the nomination and the selection at the school level, but also for your tremendous support and inspiration throughout my career. I'm so lucky that every day I work with people who see this profession as I do, a calling. Each day we're faced with different challenges, whether academic or social, and the people I work with have created a community focused on the students and solving problems together. We discuss teaching strategies throughout the day, collaborate together when we see failure, and celebrate each other's successes daily. I have found some of my strongest motivators, inspirations, and best friends at Herbert Hoover. This type of community helps foster the positive, nurturing environment that is crucial for student success, and I am lucky enough to be a part of it. But of course, this thank you would be incomplete if I didn't mention the students of Edison Township. Every year in August, the back-to-school dreams start. Some are riddled with teacher nightmares, like chaotic classes or forgetting how to teach, but most are about the students, their stories, and the connections I'm about to make over the next 180 days. Every year, I meet young adults who amaze me, children with exceptional talent, drive, and curiosity. And it is because of these children that I am here today. The students of Edison are eager for knowledge, eager to learn, and it is these kids who motivate me to be the best teacher I can be. They deserve nothing less than my 100%. To the child who wants to write her own novels and continue to share it with me from 7th grade through high school, I become better. For my students who, after becoming inspired by the way we use technology in my classroom, taught themselves to code, and then organized their own conferences to teach others to develop software as sophomores, I become better. For the countless children who come to my classroom struggling each day academically, socially, emotionally, yet still find the confidence to participate in class discussions and try their best at any of the seemingly impossible tasks I have set for them, I become better. The students who enter room 217 at Herbert Hoover are the reason I have become this teacher. As they grow and change, my practices evolve as well, because they need me to be the best. They deserve the best education we can provide, and I believe they get that every day at the Edison Township Schools. Thank you again to everyone who has created a motivating environment that encourages growth, innovation, and collaboration, from the students to the Board of Education. Working together to better the education of our future generation will ensure the success of our community. Thank you again.
So we have some amazing educators here in Edison, and as I said in the beginning, they are representative of so many of our very passionate and dedicated educators that every day come to work to enrich the lives of our students. And I just want to say, on behalf of Dr. O'Malley, the Board of Education, and Central Office Administration, we are so proud each and every day to call you colleagues and to see the amazing work that you do for our students every day that you come to work with a smile on your face, dedicated and ready to face any challenge each and every day. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much for all that you do, and congratulations.
Congratulations once again to the District Teacher of the Year, the inspiring talk that she's given to all of us, and certainly to all of the Teachers of the Year in each of the schools. It's the teachers, we thank you for the great job that we do, not only the Teachers of the Year, but all of the teachers. You are the heart, the soul, and the body of the district in meeting the learning needs of our students. So we thank you for all of the terrific work and dedication that you have and that you give throughout the year. Thank you very much, and we'll take a 5-minute recess.
As soon as we start talking.
Call to order. We will continue the meeting, and if we would have we need a motion to approve the minutes for April 13th and 18th, 2016. Mr. Errico and Mrs. Ains. Any questions? Call it.
Mr. Errico?
Yes.
Mrs. Madiker?
Yes.
Mr. Shi?
Yes.
Mrs. Iyer?
Abstain on 13th, yes on 18th.
Mrs. Ward?
Yes.
Mrs. Ains?
Yes.
Mrs. Maroney?
Yes.
Dr. Healy?
Yes.
So carried.
We also need a motion for the Board Secretary report. Could I have a first and a second? Mrs. Maroney and Mr. Shea. Any questions? Call it.
Mr. Errico?
Yes.
Mrs. Madiker?
Yes.
Mr. Shi?
Yes.
Mrs. Iyer?
Yes.
Mrs. Ward?
Yes.
Mrs. Ains?
Yes.
Mrs. Maroney?
Yes.
Dr. Healy?
Yes.
All yes.
Okay, now it's time for public comments, resolutions only. If you come to the microphone, give your name and address. Okay, seeing none, we'll go on with the resolutions. We need we'll vote on the number 8 resolutions, 1 through 5, and we need a motion, first and second motion. Okay, Mrs. Prasad and Mr. Shea. Any questions? Call it.
Mr. Errico?
Yes.
Mrs. Madiker?
Yes.
Mr. Shi?
Yes.
Mrs. Iyer?
Yes.
Mrs. Ward?
Yes.
Mrs. Ains?
Yes.
Mrs. Maroney?
Yes.
Dr. Healy?
Yes.
All yes, yep.
And now we have announcements by the President. Upcoming meetings will be a board retreat Saturday, June 11th, 2016 at 9 a.m. in the Education Center. And there was a caucus meeting will be on June 15th, Wednesday, Education Center at 7 p.m. public meeting Monday, June 20th in Edison High School, the auditorium at 7 p.m. Also, I'd just like to mention that there's a J.P. Stevens greenhouse grand opening on June 8th from 9 to 10. And any board members, I called up Tony Toludo, project manager for the James Monroe Elementary School, and he'll give us a walkthrough with the hard hats tomorrow, 11 a.m. If any other board members are able to make it, would like to go, feel free to just come. Okay. Okay, and now we have committee reports. Mr. Errico?
Our next meeting is this Wednesday for Finance and Facilities.
Okay. Did you want to read the, I guess not. Okay.
I don't know if I got that.
Do we?
I think I should read that. I didn't get the minutes. Yep, there we go. Thank you. Okay, our last meeting was on April 20th at the Education Center. In attendance was Dr. Heelan, Mrs. Ward, Mrs. Ains, Mr. Mashad, Mr. Stromsland, and all the people from the construction and the engineers. James Monroe was discussed. We are working on getting that building up and running. Is it out in the public yet? For January? No? Okay. But we are working on getting that building completed as soon as possible, and we're working with the building people tomorrow. Menlo Park, we are still working on that with the M&M Construction Company. Woodbrook School, the drawings are ready for submittal to the NJDOE, and it should go out to bid in late May. The budget has been submitted and approved by the Middlesex County Budget Office, and it was in the paper and advertised for presentation on May 4th, which passed. And we are budgeting $120,000 for additional transportation vehicles in order to increase our fleet and save money on bidding out. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Errico. And next we have open comments by board members. Mrs. Maroney.
First of all, I want to say congratulations to all of the Edison Teachers of the Year, most especially to Christina Hughes, the District Teacher of the Year. This is certainly well-deserved for all. And congratulations to all our teachers for a great year. They've all worked hard, and they're an inspiration. J.P. Stevens High School has been awarded the 2016 Wachenfeld Sportsmanship Award by the International Association of Approved Basketball Officials for the North Jersey Board. In order to win this prestigious award, both the boys and the girls teams must qualify to be recognized. It should be noted that this award is chosen by the officials who serve as referees in the games. The last time J.P. Stevens was given this award was in 1889 to 90. It was given at that time just to the girls' basketball team, which was under Coach Kathy McKean, who is now the athletic director at J.P. Stevens. So congratulations to Kathy. Obviously inspires sportsmanship in the kids. Congratulations to the coaches of our basketball teams, Amy Bonk, the girls, and Bobby Jones, the boys. So great kudos to J.P. Stevens for this very, very prestigious award.
Okay, any other board members? Mr. Shea?
Yeah, when we are on the topic about the coaches, I just want to say congratulations to Mr. Anthony White. He was my daughter's volleyball coach, and this year he won the Coach of the Year for the red division for the J.P. Stevens boys volleyball team. Congratulations to Mr. White.
Any other board members who would like to? Mrs. Ward.
On Thursday of this past week, Edison High School had the awards night for the AVID students. They recognized 9 students of the month and 41 students who excelled in academics, most improved, community service, AVID advocate, Avid Leadership, and Avid All-Star. It was a well-attended, well-received, crowded auditorium in Edison High School, and there were at least a dozen Avid teachers there, and they are the most enthusiastic group of teachers I have seen in a long time. It was one pleasant night, and I'm sorry Gene Miroff isn't here to see it, because that was his baby, and it was a very good program. Thank you to all the Avid people, and congratulations to all the Teachers of the Year from the different schools. Thank you.
Anyone else? Any other board members? Okay, seeing none, then we'll go on to the public comments. If you'd come and give your name and address.
Hi, is this podium? So to begin, hi, my name is Dilip Bhatnagar. I live at 866 Needover Road, 08820. To the esteemed members of the Board of Education, hello. We are students from J.P. Stevens, and we'd like to discuss changing the start time of Edison Township High Schools from 7:40 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Several months ago, my friend Kyle and I were interviewed by NJTV about student sleep deprivation in high school. We became deeply concerned about this issue, feeling its pertinence in our own school, and began reading into it further. We came across a bill passed into law by the New Jersey State Assembly, State Senate, and Governor, specifically NJ Bill S2484, which will require New Jersey's Department of Education to study the feasibility of starting school later at middle and high schools, as well as look to establish pilot programs in schools interested throughout the state. Walking through the halls of J.P. Stevens each day, we see students struggling to focus in the classroom because of a lack of sleep. We see student health issues being exacerbated by sleep deprivation. We are told in school to own every second and carpe diem, seize the day, but students cannot do so without adequate sleep. Above and beyond carpe diem, I say we must look towards carpe vitem, to seize the life. By allowing students more sleep, not only will they be able to better focus on their day-to-day challenges, but they will be able to better build their lives for themselves. We have conducted a great deal of scientific research regarding sleep patterns in adolescence, which Kyle will discuss in greater detail for you. After giving the matter much thought, we also took it upon ourselves to seek viable solutions to this issue. To demonstrate the feasibility of implementing an 8:30 a.m. start time in Edison Township High Schools, we created a block scheduling system. Finally, we began a petition online to demonstrate student, parent, and resident support throughout the district and garnered over 1,100 signatures in roughly a week. This petition calls for the Board of Education to meet with members of the student body to explore changing the high school start time. Today, we would like to propose the creation of a committee of students, parents, teachers, and Board of Education members to examine the implementation of an 8:30 a.m. start time for high schools in our district, bearing in mind this matter's significance with regards to student health and learning. Thank you for your time and consideration. We'd like to congratulate the district teachers and thank them for their hard work, dedication, and enthusiasm. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other people who would like to make some public comments? Give your name and address, please.
Hi, my name is Kyle Gordon. I'm also from J.P. Stevens, and my address is 6 Dale Drive, Edison, New Jersey. So I'll be talking a bit about the scientific research behind a later start time. To the Board of Education, we are writing this letter to voice our concern in regards to the time of the high school's morning start and to propose a new start time of 8:30 a.m. The current start time of 7:40 a.m. is detrimental to both students' health and academic performance. According to the American Pediatric Association, evidence strongly implicates that earlier start times, especially those before 8:30 a.m., are key modifiable contributors to insufficient sleep, as well as circadian rhythm disruption in teenagers. The National Sleep Foundation reports that teenagers need an average of 9.25 hours of sleep per night for optimal performance, health, and brain development. In a survey recently conducted by the J.P. Stevens Student Council, it was reported that 40.3% of J.P. Stevens students receive 6 to 8 hours of sleep per night, and 48.1% of students receive 4 to 6 hours of sleep per night. Thus, only 4.7% of the school's entire population reported receiving 8 to 10 hours of sleep, and in all, over 95% of J.P. Stevens students do not receive an adequate amount of sleep each night. Ultimately, this manifests itself in the classroom and has adverse effects in students' lives. According to the National Sleep Foundation, young people who don't get enough sleep night after night carry a significant risk for drowsy driving, emotional and behavioral problems such as irritability, depression, poor impulse control and violence, health complaints, tobacco and alcohol use, impaired cognitive function and decision-making, and lower overall performance in athletics and academics. According to a study conducted by Brown University researcher Mary Cascaden, PhD, a renowned expert on adolescent sleep, there are several advantages to students getting the sleep they need, including reduced likeliness for tardiness, reduced absenteeism, better grades, and reduced risk of metabolic and nutritional deficits associated with insufficient sleep, including obesity. A study published by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, published April 8, 2016, which analyzed questionnaires from more than 50,000 high school students in 2009, 11, and 13, found that teens who get less than 7 hours of sleep on school nights were more likely to engage in risky behaviors, such as texting and driving, drinking and driving, riding with a driver who was drinking, and not wearing a seatbelt in a car or a helmet while on a bicycle, than teens who sleep 9 hours a night. In 2011, the CDC found that insufficient sleep in teens, which was described as less than 8 hours on average a night, was associated with cigarette, alcohol and marijuana use, sexual activity, and not getting enough exercise, and considering suicide. These studies reinforce what can be observed daily through the eyes of a J.P. Stevens student. While the school day officially begins with the start of homeroom at 7:40 a.m., students routinely arrive at school between 7:20 and 7:35 a.m. in order to go to their lockers and unpack. Many students are unable to focus and be productive during classes because they are often either physically falling asleep or are not fully functioning cognitively. Assuming it takes 15 minutes to eat breakfast, a half hour for students to get ready for school, and a half hour to travel to school, the latest a student could possibly wake up in the morning to get to school in time is 6:25 a.m. That means that to receive the necessary 9.25 hours of sleep per night, students would have to go to sleep at approximately 9:10 p.m. each night. According to a poll recently conducted by the Student Council, 58.8% of J.P. Stevens students spend over 4 hours per night completing homework, and 22.3% of students spend over 6 hours per night on homework alone. Between this workload and the extracurricular activities that students participate in, including sports teams in which athletes routinely participate 2 hours per day and spend 4 hours per game day, music programs which typically have rehearsals several times per week after school for approximately 2 hours each day, and after-school clubs that frequently meet each week for 1 to 2 hours, it becomes incredibly challenging for students to receive enough sleep. And these health problems are even further amplified because students do not have time or are too tired to eat breakfast in the morning. Thus, it is difficult for students to focus and function throughout the school day, and their health is being jeopardized. Districts throughout the nation, including our neighboring town of Metuchen, have shifted high school start times to 8:30 a.m. with great success. According to a Psychology Today article published in 2011, as many schools across the state of Massachusetts changed their start times to 8:37 a.m., students slept about 1 hour more, had less difficulty staying awake in school, and had better grades than students at schools with 7:15 start times. A study at a Rhode Island school that shifted its start time from 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. revealed that the change increased the number of students getting 8 hours of sleep each night from 16% to 55%, improved attendance, and resulted in fewer visits to the school nurse. In the Fayette County School District in Kentucky, after changing the high school start time from 7:30 to 8:30 a.m., a decrease was found in car accident rates for 16 to 8-year-olds in the district, while rates meanwhile increased in the rest of the state for 17 to 18-year-olds during the same period of time. Thus, we implore you to shift the high school start time to 8:30 a.m. and to resolve the above student health issues in order to create a better learning environment. In J.P. Stevens, we have a motto: be the change you wish to see in this world. It is our hope that the Board of Education will be intrepid in facing these challenges, giving rise to a solution that will improve the quality of life for our fellow students.
Thank you.
Maybe go together.
Excuse me?
Maybe go together for a final statement.
Just come up one more time.
Yeah. Okay, yes, yeah, just come up. Just summarize what you have.
Yeah. We're going to give you guys this packet here with essentially everything that we said tonight, and a copy of our petition, a copy of the over 1,100 signatures, and also a block scheduling system that we just wanted to talk a little bit about. This scheduling system, we spent about a week creating it to demonstrate the feasibility of an 8:30 a.m. start time, because we realize that there are many logistical challenges of making such a change. And so we made the schedule. We thought about the things that could and could not be taken away from a school day, and how to reduce the amount of time, and how to accommodate school sports, after-school clubs. And we've come to a schedule, a block schedule, that would allow for an 8:30 start time and a 2:40 release time to accommodate sports with the NJSIA and clubs and all the things that students do. And so we have a demonstration. This schedule would maintain the instructional time in all core classes. As of right now, we have 5 class days per week, meeting for 42 minutes each time, giving us a total of 210 minutes per week. And we've accomplished the same 210 minutes per week per core class with 2 105-minute blocks each week. We've increased the amount of time spent instructing science to 300 minutes per week, which is more than the 294 that they currently get with 2 lab days in AP science classes. And we've maintained a 5-minute passing time, a 25-minute lunch, and we believe that this schedule gives students greater flexibility with a 0 period that would allow them to take an extra class or extra elective if they would like to come into school at the current 7:40 start time. Also, this schedule includes 5 lunches throughout the day versus the current 4, and would decrease the amount of people within each lunch. We estimate from approximately 600 people to 450 or 500 people. We believe that this schedule could decrease hall traffic by up to 80%. Currently, during each passing time of 5 minutes in the high school, up to 1/2 to all of the students in the school are in the hallway at a time. Under this schedule, only 1/5 of the school would be in the hallway at a time, at any given time. Thus, there would only be approximately 480 students in the hallways versus 1,200 to 2,400.
Okay, thank you very much. We appreciate what you've done. If you want to hand over
we
any
would like to
information,
share, yeah.
because we have
Yeah.
a limitation of 6 minutes by board bylaws, okay? So we thank you for the work. And yeah, okay. And you've spoken to the principal too? Good. Thank you very much. I know this is a concern. Okay, anyone else from the public wishing to make a comment? If you please come to the microphone, give your name and address.
I'm Makan Ramakrishnan. I live on 62 Wintergreen Avenue East. Good evening, Dr. O'Malley. Good evening, Dr. Heelan, the rest of the Board of Education. Thank you for coming to John Adams Middle School tonight. I'm an 8th grade student of John Adams Middle School. As you may know, a petition is being circulated across the district which asks the Board of Education to move the start times of our high schools to 8:30 a.m. I signed this petition myself, and I can definitely see that this petition has been very well organized by the J.P. Stevens Student Council and has gained immense popularity over the past few weeks, currently having received 1,160 signatures from Edison students. This petition addresses the concerns of our secondary school students that students are not getting enough sleep, and this results in various negative consequences that can be prevented. The petition also discusses that our neighboring town, Metuchen, has recently shifted their own high school start times with great success. In addition, once again, the petition does provide a sample schedule that could be used in order to cope with scheduling classes amidst this new start time. Of course, the petition does fail to analyze the concern that traffic loads would be significantly increased as a result of starting high school later, and the clash with middle school start times. However, our ever-growing community is certain that the Edison Board of Education will find a way to distribute traffic efficiently, and we firmly opine that the benefits that come to students and teachers as a result of shifting the start time significantly outweigh the effort necessary to execute this change. Ultimately, the J.P. Stevens Student Council and our ambitious students in both the middle and high schools of Edison strongly encourage the Board of Education to thoroughly investigate this matter and explore shifting our high school start times. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else wishing to make a comment? Please go up to the microphone, give your name and address.
Good evening, Elizabeth Conway, 20 Netherwood Circle in Edison. I come here as the chairperson of the ETPTAC's PTA PTO Scholarship, which is now known as the Philip J. Capilupo Scholarship. And I just wanted to let you know the outcome of our search for 2 more excellent students coming out of the education system. Our recipient from J.P. Stevens is Akshat Mehta, who is among many of his activities was class president, marching band drum major, and out of school he was an Eagle Scout as well as a swimming instructor at the YMCA. Akshat will be attending Boston University in a doctoral program for physical therapy in the fall. Our recipient from Edison High School is Crystal Chen. Crystal participated in many music groups, including the New Jersey Youth Symphony and the New Jersey All-Star Ensemble. She will be attending the Parsons School of Design come in September. Both of our recipients were beyond fabulous, and we should be proud that each and every year our committee has much difficulty choosing our winners. So many of the students that applied for our scholarship received free rides to many colleges this year. And because our scholarship hopes to promote help in a monetary sense, we have to really struggle to decide who our winner is. But this year, it was without a doubt our 2 winners were just so outstanding. And no offense, they're going to schools that are so expensive. And even though they're getting a very sizable amount to attend these schools, they were still in need of our assistance. And we need to be so proud of these students. But as I sit here listening to our future J.P. Stevens students that hopefully will be applying to our scholarship in the future, I only wonder how much better can they get, considering what we see now. So I applaud you students. Keep up the good work and just keep coming and giving your talks. Hopefully, and I'll help, make sure that they listen.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to make any comments from the public? Seeing none, then we'll ask for a motion to adjourn. Need a first and a second, Mr. Shi and Mrs. Ward. All in favor? Aye. All opposed?